Hi everyone, welcome to Bank Talk. My name is Joe. This is going to be my little WNBA podcast. I'm going to come on, talk about some current events, try and be pretty consistent with it, talk about my opinions because I love to have an opinion on this league because I'm like obsessed with it. So I've just kind of always thought, why not throw my 2 cents in? I got some stuff to talk about this week because a lot has happened within the WNBA. Like, the All-Star game is approaching quickly, and they announced the All-Star reserves yesterday. So we'll get into that. But I kind of wanted to give a little overview of myself since this is my first video. My name's Joe. I love the WNBA. I've been an avid fan since like LSU Angel Reese days. She got me into the league. Big Angel Reese fan. But I like a lot of players in the league. I love like Sonia Citron and the Mystics. I love the direction that the Mystics are going in right now with their young core. I am really, really excited about Dominique Malonga and Awafam in Seattle. I think they're going to be an amazing front court for years to come. I also really love Olivia Miles in Minnesota. I have just like a lot of favorite players. I don't really follow a team. I'm more of like a player boy, but yeah, you'll see as I give my opinions on different things around the league and the all-star selections because we'll see if I feel if anyone was snubbed because we'll be going through the list. I definitely think some of the Atlanta Dream players were snubbed from a starting position in the All-Star game, which Angel Reese said in a press conference prior to losing a game because they're low-key on a slide. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak. We will verify that. Not too happy about that. Um, but yeah, as an Angel Reese fan, I have to be an Atlanta Dream fan, even though I don't really like teams, but I guess I'm a liar. Anyways, to get ourselves kicked off for the first episode, why not talk about a huge event that just happened in the league, which is Kennedy Carter being waived by the Las Vegas Aces. So saying that I'm a big Angel Reese fan, obviously I was keeping up with the league in 2024 for her rookie season when she was on the Chicago Sky with Kennedy Carter under head coach Teresa Weatherspoon. And Kennedy was always a dynamic scorer. She could pick apart the defense. Great at driving. Her mid-range game was nice. She's worked on improving her three-point shot percentage, and taking more attempts per game, especially with the Aces this year. The beginning of the season, she was a clear sixth player of the year, at least candidate, but like to me, she was sixth player of the year. Definitely the spark off the bench that I thought the Aces needed this year, trying to contend again after winning last year. They have Asia Wilson, they have Jackie Young, they have Chelsea Gray, and that insanely strong core, but they needed more bench depth. And to get Kennedy Carter on a minimum contract, I thought that was crazy for this season. Everybody was like, oh my God, Becky Hammon pulled her in. Don't let her be on the Aces. Because Kennedy's had like questions with being with teams, and different events have happened with those teams during her tenure in the WNBA, so it's been a little rocky for her, but everybody including me were kind of the opinion that like her being on the Aces would be great for her because she can learn off of like Asia and different veterans. Chelsea, I mean Jackie's there on like how to be more professional within the league and understand her role. uh and then we all saw what happened on social media this season with the whole Kennedy kind of being rage baited by like AZ Fudd fans. And then Kennedy made a little comment about AZ Fudd and how she had fouled her in a game. And Kennedy felt that she was, playing better than her. The comparison is going to be the thief of Kennedy's mentality, unfortunately. Something fishy seemed to have been happening when she was out for illness and all this during the season. Like, I felt something was coming, like we were coming to a head of her tenure in Vegas, but I didn't think it'd be flat out waiving her. And for them to go pick up Justine Passat from the Fever and make her a contract, like obviously they intend on playing Passat, who I feel, has a lot of potential in this league, can be a great stretch front court player. Definitely needs to work on her defense, but she's a rookie. But that's not like a one-to-one trade-off comparison to me of like Kennedy and Justine Passat. So I'm not sure what direction the Aces are going in right now. Obviously, love to Kennedy because she's one of the greatest women's basketball players that are currently actively playing. But I am just going to be curious to see where the rest of her WNBA career or just career in general goes from this because, we don't really have information on why they waived her. We just have the basis that she was waived. So definitely keeping an eye on the situation in Vegas, keeping an eye on the situation in Atlanta as well. And there's a lot going on. I can do like individual team breakdowns of what I feel like their current state is, stuff like that. I will probably do that prior to like the All-Star game itself because there will be the All-Star break, so it'll give me more opportunity and time to do that because we are still like actively, within games prior to the All-Star game happening. Uh, but I keep talking about All-Star. I would love to get into the selections because the reserves were just announced. So I'm gonna share my screen a little bit. And I am on like the official WNBA website. I do need to, oh, I was gonna say I need to find it. It's right in front of my face. So let's look at the starters first, because I definitely had opinions and I would like to share them. Where's the starting list on this website though? Like, what's going on here? Oh, okay. So this is just like the video, because they did like a video presentation of the starters. Because goats aren't just born. Yeah, that's giving they're copyright. Raised. We'll have to edit that out. At all times. It's giving copyright ad. It includes the. I'll just look it up. I'm gonna look up the All-Star starter list for the 2026 WNBA All-Star game, which is crazy because it's being held in Chicago and Angel's no longer there. And to me, like Angel was the face of the sky, and now she's no longer there. So I'm like, who's really the face? And they don't have a starter, but it's being hosted in their city. So yeah, definitely something to monitor. But here is the list of the All-Star starter selections. So definitely had opinions here. We can go down player by player. So Aaliyah Boston, Indiana Fever won the fan vote. I was kind of shocked by that because I was definitely expecting it to be Caitlin Clark. I'm sure many people were expecting it to be Caitlin Clark, which Caitlin was very high in fan voting as well, not on the first returns, but like after like the final returns. But Aaliyah Boston winning, I was very happy for her. I do believe she has had a great season so far. So winning the fan vote coupled with that, I mean, she also her 3-point shot has been looking great this season. She's a lot more comfortable with taking it. I just think she's expanding her game. So, I definitely thought that was justified for a front court player to be a starter. And then Paige Beckers for the Dallas Wings. I mean, the fan vote. She's been so clutch in fourth quarters this season. She's been on like a crazy stretch. They just beat the New York Liberty, and Paige had a lot to do with that in the fourth quarter. And I was very happy because I do sometimes have critique of Paige's game. It's the same critique most people have, how she could be a little passive sometimes, but to me, she's the most skilled guard in the league, and she's still so young. So, I mean, her ceiling is just very high to me. If she just continues playing with confidence, taking those shots, looking for her shot too, especially down the stretch, I do think Paige will be a consistent all-star starter, maybe even MVP candidate guard in this league. So I definitely agreed with Paige Beckers being an all-star starter selection. Caitlin Clark on the Fever. Caitlin's had maybe her best statistical year, maybe not percentage wise, but in the league this year, she's, been doing great. There are a lot of critique with like Stephanie White's system and kind of how that works with Caitlin Clark being within that system. Um, and my opinion on that is that they kind of clash. I do not think Caitlin's style and basketball philosophy is the same as Stephanie White's philosophy. So it's kind of difficult for Caitlin to be molded into Stephanie White's philosophy because Caitlin herself, I believe, is kind of a system in itself. Like her running point, it's a lot of fast pace, outlet pass, like pick and roll, like the two-man game with Aaliyah. Like you're not seeing as much of that as you were seeing, say, in like 2024, like her rookie season. But that was obviously a different head coach. That was Christy Sides. But now that it's Stephanie White, I think Stephanie White wants to adapt her to her system. But I think Caitlin's been doing well, but I think Caitlin has more potential than what she's been showing. But also, Caitlyn being such a large name, there's so much like attention and expectation for her. So people just have not been as excited this season as they have been in prior seasons, like watching and following her. Um, but I still think she's been great. So for her to be an all-star starter, that made sense to me. Natasha Howard on the Minnesota Lynx. Kind of controversial to me to be a front court pick of a starter for Natasha Howard. Kind of controversial, but also not. Because her and Olivia Miles have been great in the pick and roll this season. Olivia Miles is a pick and roll savant. That lady can make any pass. I live for that lady. But Natasha Howard, I think she's been like feasting off the passes from Olivia Miles. The pick and roll has been great for her game. She's looked great this season. Like definitely justified to be a starter, but in terms of like if I would put maybe Angel Reese over her, I would probably slot Angel Reese over her. But also I could be a little biased. Yeah. Anyways, Olivia Miles, Minnesota Lynx, 100% agree. This lady is an MVP candidate in her rookie season, guys. Like, that is craziness. Like, when Candace Parker did that, insane. But, like, Olivia Miles, if Asia Wilson wasn't in this league, that's all I'm saying. Olivia Miles would be MVP to me. But I love that lady. I've loved her since her Notre Dame days, but when she went to TCU, I do think you saw kind of like her floor general game shine there. And now her offensive game has looked amazing. I honestly, it's crazy because in college, I felt she struggled a little more than she is in the league. I feel like the league never, like she came into the league, never really needed processing time to figure out if the game will slow down for her. I think she came into the league and the game was already slowed down for her on a professional level. And to me, that is so, so impressive. So yeah, definitely agree with Olivia Miles being an all-star starter selection. Kelsey Mitchell of the Indiana Fever. Kelsey has been great this season, but at the time when this starter list came out, three players from the Indiana Fever being chosen to be starters, I don't know because their record wasn't amazing at the time. So I really don't know if that was justified, like over slotting an Atlanta Dream player in there at the time, like a Ryan Howard, because we need to take into account like defensive impact as well. And I obviously Ryan to me has been a better defender than both of the Fever guards who were selected to be a starter. But to me, I would have slotted Ryan in probably over Kelsey Mitchell, but definitely having an all-star caliber year. So can't really be too mad about that. She definitely has a lot of fans being a Fever player and being as amazing as she is and was last year. Jess Shepard on the Dallas Wings. See, I saw a lot of discourse about Jess Shepard being a starter on social media because people felt, I don't believe she's recorded a block yet this season, and she is the Dallas Wings starting five. That's the problem with the Dallas Wings right now. I will get into that when I do like a team analysis. They do not really defend the rim super well. I mean, Awak Kuir, like she got a lot of key blocks last night in that game against the Liberty. She's been great. But Jess Shepard has not recorded a block. But she's been crazy. She's been so good. The triple doubles, the offensive production, just like a great offensive hub, great contract when it comes to the Dallas Wings front court because people were saying she was like crazily overpaid when she was added to the roster of the Dallas Wings. And I, at the time, I don't know if I thought she was crazily overpaid, but I definitely thought she was overpaid. But now, to me, the impact is there. So I can see her being a starter. That made sense to me. Would I have put Angel Reese there and said yes? But I can see her being a starter. Stewie, the New York Liberty. So happy Stewie was selected as a starter. She's getting her work done. She's getting her stats. She's getting it differently than how she used to because the jumper, I don't want to say the jumper's dead, but like her three-point shot has not looked as springy like as it used to prior to the injuries. Um, but I think her threes have been falling a bit more recently, but the three-point shot, she's definitely been trying to improve. But I feel like she's recognized that in her game and she's made like a conscious effort to get to the rim more. And I don't know, I've been very impressed with her this year. And she also just is always great defensively, and is a great leader for the Liberty. So I was very happy with her being selected as a starter. Gabby Williams on the Golden State Valkyries. This I was so happy about because there are still questions with Gabby Williams. People are stating, could she be a 1A scorer for the Golden State Valkyries? She has been great this year. She's been making timely shots. She's been getting shots to fall that, are very impressive looking, maybe has not gotten to fall in previous situations. I feel the Valkyries is a great fit for her. I am very happy for her. Could be depoy caliber this season. So, very impressed with Gabby Williams. And then obviously Asia Wilson, Las Vegas Aces. Do I really have to say anything? It's Asia Wilson. She was shooting the three at a crazy rate. I believe she still is. I think her percentage is at least 40%, but at one point I think it was like 60%. So that is insane because how does she just keep getting better and better? And she's literally the MVP of the league, like best player in the world, but she continues to just improve, improve, improve. Love that lady. So clear starter. So wasn't too mad. Definitely would have made some tweaks there. Definitely would have slotted Angel Reese in, because of like clear, obviously defensive, offensive presence. You could say what you want to say about Angel Reese, like finishing layups, stuff like that, working on the 3-point shot, expanding her game offensively. But the defense is there, the rebounding's there. And, she's definitely a fourth quarter riser, especially offensively. Definitely carried the Atlanta Dream to some wins, because they had a lot of close, like tight wins at the beginning of the season. And most of their losses have been tight wins as well, or tight losses as well, like low margin. So I don't know. I would have put an Atlanta Dream player in there, definitely Ryan or Angel. But yeah, I wasn't too mad about the starter list personally. But like I said, that's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own. Uh, but I want to get into the reserves now. I'm probably just going to have to Google it as well because when I was on the official WNBA website, like I wasn't seeing a list. I was seeing like a video, like digital. So we'll get into the reserve list. Actually, maybe it is on the website. I would love if it's on the website. Let's see. Here we go. So yeah, it states here like they were selected by the 15 head coaches of the league. They voted for 3 guards, 5 front court players, and 4 players at either position, regardless of conference. And the coaches were not able to vote for their own players, which I like that being a caveat because I feel that that removes bias, obviously. So Neka Ogwumike was a reserve at the front court position. Neka's had a good season with the Sparks, but the Sparks are a mess this season to me. There's definitely something fishy happening there. The waiving of Tanaya Latson and signing Kate Martin to a standard contract. Very happy for Kate. Very confused about why they got rid of Tanaya Latson. I don't feel that Tanaya really got a fair shot or like a lot of play time or like burn with the Sparks. They're weird. That front office and the coaching, whatever direction they're trying to go in right now, the Rakia trade, but keeping Cam, it was like, what are we doing here? Because I felt that they were like split, like veteran presence, but like young presence, and like where were they going to go? What was the direction of the team going to be? And they chose to go on the more veteran side. And obviously, they're banking on Cam being like a depoy caliber, player. But Cam has not really had like she's played, but like Cam had a major injury and surgery. Like Cam's still working her way back. So kind of putting that pressure on Cam, I don't think is super like fair to her. Trying to like make it be a win now, like tight window right now with like Plum, Agumake, Atkins, Wheeler. Um, I just think I don't know if Cam was in a different position and it wasn't so like pressure filled. I just think Cam needs more time still. But the Sparks have been a mess to me. So Neko Agumake getting in there, good for her, but the Sparks have been a mess. Um, and then the Mystics, Kiki Irifen. I have loved Kiki and Sonia. The Mystics to me are so exciting. They are the most exciting league or team in the league to me. When it comes to like young talent, I love Kiki. I love Sonia. I was very happy to see Kiki selected here. Jonquel Jones in the front court being selected. I mean, Jonquel has all the potential in the world, like definitely MVP caliber, was a finals MVP. She's great. It's been great this season. So, yeah, agree with that. The Seattle Storm's Dominique Malonga, this lady, she is so young with so much potential. And she had a 37-point game this season, guys. And she was also like out with like injury for a majority of the games, but like coming back and being as amazing as she has been for how young she has been, the sky's the limit. Keep an eye on the Seattle Storm front court for sure. I do think the Seattle Storm and the Mystics are probably to me like top two teams with like the best future regarding their young core. And then we rounded out with the Atlanta Dreams Angel Reese, obviously an all-star, three-time all-star. Don't really have to say too much. She was just instant impact for this Atlanta Dream team. I know they're in a tough stretch right now, but I mean they are going to get Bree Jones back. There's conversation to be had about, Angels fit with Bree Jones in the front court, stuff like that, but this team's cooking something. And Angel Reese has had impact. Very happy she was selected. Do feel she should have been a starter, but all-star. So at the guard position now, Sonia Citron, very, very happy about Sonia Citron being there. I don't think people thought Sonia Citron was going to be this good and this dominant of a guard in this league based on how she was utilized in the Notre Dame system. I've seen it for Sonia. I'm seeing it for Sonia this season. Very impressed by her. Awesome that she was selected. Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard were both selected as reserves. Alicia's not had the most productive season. She's been great this season, but last season she definitely was a little more productive. I just think shots aren't falling. I don't think it's a confidence thing. It could be. But obviously she's amazing. I love her drives. I love her drives in transition. The three, it just needs to start falling for her, and it will. They're gonna get some time off. It's gonna be tough, the stretch of games like after the All-Star break. But I feel that is really when this team, especially when they get Bree Jones back, will shape into the team that they, have the potential to be because they definitely have a championship ceiling to me. And then the tempos, Marina Mabry. I am so happy this lady is an all-star reserve. Marina Mabry, 53 points, tying Asia Wilson. Still had time, was taken out after the 53 points, but she was exhausted. But this lady, she has been more consistent this year when it comes to shooting percentage. I mean, you're going to get your games where it's like, okay, Marina Mabry, like I've never seen you take a shot you haven't liked and then they're not falling. But then when you watch her some nights, she literally looks like the best player offensively in the league. So I love this lady. I'm very happy that she was selected as a reserve. I just think she's very fun to watch, plays with a lot of, tenacity and fire, the whole crash out thing. Kind of funny to me. Yeah. The Sparks, Kelsey Plum, very polished scorer this year. Without Kelsey Plum, the Sparks have been terrible. I low key, Kelsey's kind of the whole team. Okay, I can't say that. She's not the whole team. But Kelsey has been a majority of their offense this season. And to me, you're watching the Sparks for Kelsey Plum. But she's been out with injury. So I'm happy she was at least selected as a reserve because she had some amazing offensive performances at the beginning of the season when she was healthy. And she's a very dynamic player, great player to watch to me. Clear 1A option, scoring option, polished. Very fast, amazing footwork. Love that lady, Sassy. The Minnesota Lynx' Courtney Williams. Definitely agree with this. She has stepped up in some big moments for that team. Them being the one seed right now without Nafisa Collier is crazy, guys. And can we talk about how good Dorka Juhas has been looking? She has been looking so good in the pregame fits. Like every time they post her, I'm like, okay, Dorka, like we're in. Dorka and Fee, like, come on, come back to the one seed. You will be the one seed. And honestly, to me, looking like they're gonna win a championship this year. But I do feel this might be like the most open playing fields season that I have watched so far. And then Jackie Young getting selected. I know she had a very tough stretch of games at the beginning of the season, obviously going through some personal stuff. That can distract you, take you out of the athlete mentality, not be as super locked in. But she's been locked in recently. She has been great for the Aces. So I was very happy with that selection as well. So those are kind of my opinions and my piece when it comes to like all-star selections. And I just wanted to highlight Kennedy because I think that is currently like the biggest topic, biggest kind of storyline of something happening currently within the W. I know there are larger dialogues happening. I think there was just a congressional letter sent to the league or Kathy or something about protecting players, but like specifically talking about Caitlin. Um, there's a lot going on with that. I kind of want to stick to the ball, but I will be monitoring that situation. Obviously, if it begs for me to talk about it, I will talk about it just to give a little, opinion piece. But yeah, I love this league. I'm going to continue to watch. I think this year has been such kind of like an open playing field. I've been shocked like every night at some of these like final scores between teams. I haven't really been expecting games to go in the way that they have been. And I've loved that this season. I feel there's like a lot of variety and, you know, a lot of key pieces being added to teams in the offseason or a lot of like notable moves happening that I will monitor and discuss in greater detail for future videos. But just for a first video, I just kind of wanted to do a little overview, kind of talk about me and just kind of like where my head's at as a fan, because obviously I'm not like a reporter here. I'm kind of just giving an opinion piece and kind of just discussing things broadly. But if you guys had anything you wanted to leave in the comments for like video ideas or anything you wanted to like personally ask me about like an opinion I have on a system, on a team, on a player, anything specific, I will get into that. Hopefully, I will add a segment in the future where I can have more like interaction with my viewers and stuff like that. But I would love some comments. I would love some likes. I would love some hypes. I would love some subscriptions because let's get me, a little bit more prominent of a voice within the league and the greater dialogue and discourse. I would love that. And I'm sure you guys would love that too if you watched all the way to the end. So, please support Bank Talk Pod. This has been Joe, Colin Bank, signing off. Have a great night.